My granny said it best the other day. She was like, Daily, you know, there's multiple ways you can skin a cat. And she ain't follow it up with nothing, but that's like, you know what I'm saying? She just said it. And I ain't gonna lie, which is true though. It's so true because there's not just one way to do things. And especially like when it comes down to people and us, like in our habits and whatnot, we are very like uniform to how we do things. You know what I'm saying? Like with my doggy here, feel me? Aria, she just turned 4. But you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? And so since like that's usually the consensus, it's like the older we get, the more in our ways we get, it's harder to get out of that. And so boom, you can still start though. You can still like get out of your way. You know what I'm saying? Because like she was saying, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. There's multiple ways to go about certain things. There's multiple ways, to look at life. You don't have to look at life by just one way. And that's the beautiful thing about it. You know what I'm saying? You know how like so boom, me personally, I wear bifocals sometimes, right? And I just wear bifocals just because I be staring at the screen for too long. And so it's the same thing when you go to your eye doctor. When you go to your eye doctor, you know what? Say, boom, your lens is a little cracked. Your lens is a little fringed up, bruh. You gotta go see that, and you'll be like, he gonna be like, ooh, you know what? Yeah, let's get you some new glasses. And you know what? Wonder why when the new frames get on your face, and the frames are on your face, you see clearer, you see differently. You know what I'm saying? And I say that to say this, like you don't have to go to somebody, you know what I'm saying, in order to figure out which avenue to take. You don't need to go to somebody, you know what I'm saying, in order to figure out, okay, bet, what is the next path, or how do I get my vision clearer? You can, but I'm just saying, no, you have everything within yourself to do that, because you can step back. We have the power of reflection. The power of reflection. What? Reflection is a mug. You know what I'm saying? And so it's such a beautiful thing that we have that, because, bro, you're able to step back and be like, you know what? Say, boom, I'm not messing with that right there. Or that's where I took the wrong misstep. You know what I'm saying? And our reflection is another way of stepping back and being like, you know what? Maybe I can change my lens. Maybe I can see that there's other ways and opportunities to do this. Because, hey, bro, I can say one thing for sure and two things for certain. Like, I'm hard on myself. And if you like me, I understand, like, bro, it's so hard to just not be hard on yourself like that. You always want yourself to do it. You always want yourself to be onto the greatest point. But the thing about life is, bro, and life shows us so many times that, you know what? Yeah, you may think you're going to be at your best, but I got something that's going to bring you down a little bit. Shit, let's see how you deal with some inclines, shoot. Let's see how you deal with some slopage. Let's see how you deal with some avalanches, some snow, you know what I'm saying? Some adversity. Let's see how you deal with problems. Let's see how you deal with some more issues. And so on top of that, it's like you have to be understanding, and you have to be willing to take a step back and be like, okay, bet, boom. Even though this is not where I would like to be, this is where I am. You know what I'm saying? This is not where I would like to be, but this is where I am. I say it one more time. This ain't where I would like to be, but this is where I am currently. And at this point in time, I'm right where my feet are. And if I have to be where my feet are, then we have to talk about, hey, bro, what's going on right here, right now? You know what I'm saying? And that's not always the easiest thing. But the thing that you got to understand at the end of the day, bro, is that as long as you're making strides to become a better person, that's what matters, bro. You making strides to better yourself. You making strides to put yourself in a better position. You making strides, you know what? Hey, bro, it is what it is. Like, man, shoot, like recently I had lost one of my homies, you know what I'm saying? And that put me in a different spot, right? We was riding hot. And then, that took down the tank. The tank was dwindling. It still kind of is, you know what I'm saying? Grief is something in its own thing, you know what I mean? Hey, bro, it don't got no time limit. But, hey, you know what it is? You got to take it a day at a time, though. But the thing is, it's like, we have these things that happen to us. We have these things that come in our lives. We have these things that, you know what, that pop up out the ground like a groundhog. You don't know if it's going to be more sunny or more winter. You know what I'm saying? It's just up to the interpretation of the world. You know what I'm saying? God has his own plans. You know what I'm saying? Whether you believe in God, the universe, whatever you believe in, but it has its own plans and it has its own trajectory for you in your life. And so the thing is, it's like we have to understand how we go through with these adversities, how we still gonna keep going with these adversities. And even though, you know what I'm saying, these things happen to us, these things put us in these positions, but you got to understand there's multiple ways to skin a cat. You don't always have to look at it how you look at it right now. You know what I mean? And granted, that's a hard thing to say, but it is a beautiful thing to be able to step back and be like, you know what, I was tripping right there. But now that I see that now, I can honestly say I'm in a different spot. You know what I'm saying? And it's so different to where they're able to step back, evaluate the situation, and see it for what it is. Because at one point in time, bro, I'll even say it for me, it was hard for me to control my anger. I would just crash, especially like, boom, you already know, like, bruh, if your mama, she has that one spot. Nobody else can hit that spot, but your mama can. And so, you know what I'm saying? I used to have a hard time with my anger. I used to have a harder time controlling it. You know what I mean? And so now it's different, bro. I see it from a different perspective. I'm not seeing it from as, you know what, I just gotta go. I just gotta, you know, it's like more of a patience thing for me now. Cause I'm like, okay, bet. I gotta be patient when it comes to this, because boom, what am I teaching myself? If I go with my anger, if I go with my aggression, if I go ahead and do that, then what am I understanding? I'm understanding that it's okay for me to do that. And as a man, and for the life that I want to live and the life that I'm trying to build for myself now, that's not what I'm going for. That's not what I'm going for. Constantly having aggression, constantly, you know what I'm saying, going like that, that's not what I'm going for. So you know what I'm saying, you got to take a step back and you got to realize, you know what I'm saying, pride's not the biggest thing. Actually, it's really not the biggest thing. Even though it may feel like it, it's really not. And that it's hard to say. It's really hard to say too, but it's not. And so, multiple ways to skin a cat. There's many different things, bro, because that same way I'm thinking about it now, the inverse, it was how I was thinking about it before. Oh, you know what, bro, he trying to play me like a bitch. He trying to, you know what I'm saying, it's time to crash, it's time to go, we gotta go, I got something to, you know what I mean? It's constantly like you got something to prove, but you don't. Because at the end of the day, who are you proving yourself to? What are you proving yourself to be? Is that gonna put you in a better position, or, you know what I'm saying, a worse one? Because you gotta see it for what it is, bro. It's either moving you forward or taking you back. And that's all you gotta see it as, yo. Because you can't see it as black and white, because that's just not how it is. That's just not how it is. Because one hand you're enabling something, and on one hand you're denying the satisfaction of something. So you gotta really think to yourself, it's like, do you want to enable yourself, or do you want to deny yourself from that? Because at the end of the day, it really is, bro, all what you choose to do. Now, granted, hey, there's times to let that shit loose and go goose. But you know what I mean? We talking about from an everyday standpoint, though. We talking about from an everyday standpoint. You know what? Somebody try you, get all up in your face, threaten you, you know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, it's go time. They hit you. I want you to smoke them in they shit. Boy, hit them in they shit. Hit them in they shit. You know what I'm saying? But don't go overboard. Don't go overboard. You know what I'm saying? If somebody trying you, don't, you know what I mean? But I say this to say this. It's not always the biggest thing to drop your nuts. To be dropping your nuts all the time is not the biggest thing. That's not what you should be looking out for. You know what I mean? Because there's other lessons, and there's blessings, and there's situations where, you know what, bet you gotta tuck your tail. Shit, at work, you gotta tuck your tail. You can't just, I'm on big boss shit at work. Even when big boss man come and tell me, I bet, bro, you like your job or what? You like your job or what? So you know what I'm saying? In life, you know, you gonna be taught so many different things, bro, in different situations for you to understand, you know what? Hey, it is what it is. I gotta understand where I can enable and disable. You know what I mean? I gotta understand where I'm going step forward, or if this is taking me a step back. Where is it bringing me? Is it bringing me up or down? You know what I'm saying? And only you can determine that, because you know where you are, you know where you want to go, you know where you want to be, you know what you want to see. And the thing is, bro, I know what I want for me. So do you know what you want for you, bro? Because at the end of the day, male, female, whatever, you know what I mean? The only goal at the end of the day is to be better, is to become better, is to become a person who can fit the shoes of the position that you want to be in, to become that person, you know what, who you're striving to be, to become that person, you know what, so you can do the things that you want to do, because we understand that, you know what, as our level right now, we not at where we want to be at. It takes a couple of more steps, it takes a couple of more reps, but you know, you got to go ahead and take a couple of more breaths and keep going, because every day gonna be a challenge, gang. Every day gonna have different stuff. Every day gonna come up with different situations, different just different things to try to, you know what, test you, see where you are, to see, okay, how willing are you to go forward? How willing are you okay with taking that step backwards and reevaluating your steps? You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, it's really about where you want to choose, what you want to choose, what you want to do, where you want to go, what do you want for yourself? And at the end of the day, I'm saying this and I'm praying that you get this, bro. Ain't nobody can change that and nobody can see that but you, Merle. And hey, bro, T up, be up, and be yourself. And if you need some help, call on the sheriff himself. You know what I'm saying? All right, bro. I'll catch y'all. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day and stay up.